Okay, Red 5, are you done standing by? Welcome, friends, to 2020 plus plus, a Cyberpunk 2020 second edition game, the 29th episode. We are nearing the final arc of the show. I should say we're in the final arc of the show. Know, friends, that if you don't want to hear us talk about our lives and you are on YouTube, you can check the description section below.
And if you're not on YouTube, get fucked.
Yeah, if you're not on YouTube, get fucked. I guess wait between 30 minutes and 70. All right, look at these resubs coming in. Thanks, Drumurboy, and thanks, Glimo. I guess the volume isn't too bad this time around. It's tolerable.
Damn it.
You may also note in the description section on YouTube, there are several new additions in the description, including how you can get in contact with us on Discord, a link to Twitch, the stream calendar, and the Drive-Thru RPG affiliate, just in case you want to buy Cyberpunk 2020. Although, if you're this far in and you haven't bought it, I don't anticipate that you will, but maybe you're like, oh, I was just thinking of buying a supplement for 2020, legally, without sailing the seas. Maybe I'll do that. Well, good luck for you, because that Drive-Thru RPG affiliate will help me buy new BattleTech source books. That's all it's used for.
Maybe your final confrontation in this game will convince people that, yeah, you know what? I do want to sever all of my limbs in a make-believe fantasy realm. And then replace it with robotics. That's how that works, right?
I kind of feel like if you were going to make that decision, you probably would have made it by now, but...
Just wait until I fail the bomb removal roll, and then we have to implant the lady's head on the puck knot.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally the first thing we're gonna do right here. You literally begged to end the episode where it was,
man,
just like you could get more luck
points. I spent them all at the beginning
it
of
won't
last
matter.
episode.
You're gonna roll a 1. all you'll hear is a soft click, and that will be the end of your character.
True. That would be the most fitting end.
Yeah, just know that the end of 6th year, start of 7th year is July 26th, which is next Monday for most of us. And, you know, I'm working on a video because I don't have anything else. There's no new shows ready to roll out quite yet for another month or two. And almost everything else is winding down, ironically. 2020 plus plus coming to an end. Solaris Knight Season 1 coming to an end. Dinner in a Dungeon finally canceled after so many predictions it would be canceled.
What happened? Just conflicts of player timing and stuff?
Brian needed to back out.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Cotton is pregnant, and you know, Connor just had a kid as well, second kid. So it's just no one could stay in except for me. It's just me playing Dungeons and Dragons by myself. Is called writing a book. Something I'm committed to not doing.
Look, you definitely activated hard mode when you started that campaign, Arthur.
I know. I thought we would get a lot more done. I thought we would get like a solid 20 weeks out of it and get a good season, and that did not happen. So
I think what started it specifically was like every week you requested that they come in with a food review at the beginning, and I was like, okay.
That must have been it, Dave. It must have been the food that destroyed them. Because if there's one thing all humans don't like to do is both eat food and or talk about it.
Yeah, but you don't review every single movie you watch, right?
If you can't name one good meal that you've cooked or eaten in the last week, are you actually fucking living?
Okay, Arthur, how many campaigns?
You asking the guy that doesn't have any taste buds if that fucking... Okay, fuck you, for one.
How many campaigns have you asked
what kind
players
of
to come along
cool
with food
texture
reviews
is it putting
at the start of every game?
Only that one.
Okay, how many of those campaigns have failed?
Wow, James.
There you go.
Come on now. Boom. Don't give me don't give me these fallacious statistics. Would you present that to a shareholder as solid logic to drive your company decisions?
I presented to my wife just to make her hurt because she hates
it's hurting me right now.
She hates correlation equaling causation.
Jesus.
I'm just saying there was less climate change when pirates were around, all right?
Wow.
Become a pirate. Save the climate.
James, as long as you're saying ergo vis-a-vis, then you're fine, right? That's how that
That's
works.
right. QED. That's it. Exactly.
I'm gonna make an album called Ergo Vis-a-Vis, and it's all like in between the songs.
And you could reference Will Smith playing the architect in the in that MTV award show knockoff that had Justin Timberlake in it. Hey, just use that. That'd be great. Fantastic idea. What
And then
could go
turn it
wrong?
into an NFT. There we go.
No. Wait, that's still a thing? Okay.
Yep.
No one can explain to me what it is, but it actually still exists. So,
What I don't
it's real.
understand about NFT is people say it's bad for the environment. I don't get it. Why? It's
It's
JPEG
attached to
that
the
moves.
blockchain, and the blockchain and cryptocurrency is bad for the environment.
Because it takes a bazillion watts of energy to run it.
Yeah. Even though it would exist whether NFTs exist or not, it's just using
Exactly.
the system.
No, I don't
So
know.
none of
But
it's
that-
good, but it's like
I mean,
could say
cryptocurrency
that
is
about
literally
banking.
filled with scams right now. It's every day you hear about a new coin where the owners are like, well, we made $320 million laundering mafia cash, but
Yep.
we've all use encrypted shit, so no one knows who we are. We're just going to email all of our users that their money's ours now and leave. And then you got a chain of people going, well, you can't do that. I'm an American. Everything I have is protected by FDIC. And everybody's just like, that's not how cryptocurrency works, you fucking idiot.
These people never played EVE Online.
Oh my God, James. Wow. You know, EVE Online taught me a lot about life and also about the depth of my own rage.
I want to know more about the reverse stories where the store that gets erected as a cash laundering front for the mafia becomes more profitable than the actual laundering of the money. It happened once with a pizza chain, if I remember correctly, and that was, I think, the only one. We need more of that. Like that, we need more feel-good stories. From
There
rags to
are a
riches.
lot of businesses that have turned to be better investments than the money laundering that originally started them. Like several casinos,
I mean,
strip clubs.
yeah, but
I think Dave's talking about more wholesome things like a mom and pop pizza
wholesome.
shop or a bookstore.
Yeah, a bookstore
If
would be
you
great.
are-
Like,
How would you could literally launder money in a bookstore, but I don't know that you
We used to carry all the mom's books, and now we're bigger than Amazon.
look,
Incredible.
Jeff Bezos went to space for 10 minutes on the back of books, okay? As far as I'm concerned, the
built a
mafia
rocket.
can do it too.
We built a rocket shaped like a dick.
Okay,
solely
you
on
see
auto.
John Stewart, calm down.
Did you see the picture of Dr. Evil and Jeff Bezos side by side, and then their penis rockets side by side?
You can launder any amount of money through any type of business, provided you can convince the IRS that amount of revenue is realistic from that type of business.
Yeah, so I guess it's more about like, you know, what business conceivably could you launder money from without the IRS or any state agency going, well, this looks fucking suspicious.
I think the unique thing about NFTs is like two gigantic money laundering schemes colliding: crypto and art collection.
No, not
straight
art
up call
collection.
out.
Baseball trading cards.
What's the difference?
That's what it is.
Did anybody here watch Tenet?
Yep.
Film Tenet. It's something I didn't know existed until I watched that film. That it is something that exists where there are these warehouses that sit beyond, like the national border. So they're in airports, for example, where they're effectively in international waters, where rich people keep artworks so they can move them around and look at them without having to pay duties and tariffs every time they move it from one country to another, because it's always in international waters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Must be nice being super rich. All right. We've already spent 9 minutes not doing intros. So, look, I know Dave's going to want to spice intros up and make them like 40, 50 minutes, but let's do our best, guys. Glimo, let's start with you. What do you got for an intro? Keep it lean, keep it mean, keep it green.
I'm not sure how to keep it green, but I'm Glimo. Let's see. I spent most of my week in yet another complete replanning exercise for the project that I've been on since November. So, yeah, I'm done. Bye. James?
How long's it been? It's been a few weeks, hasn't it? So look, I'm stuck in lockdown because there's been an outbreak in my city of COVID. So I'm homeschooling and working from home and doing lots of Zoom calls and not getting much sleep because two of my older kids showed my youngest child a horror movie on YouTube, and now she comes and gets into my bed every night and starts kicking me as she.
Oh, which one?
It.
On YouTube? They have the whole movie on YouTube?
No, just Seeds. Yeah, Seeds designed this.
Oh, okay.
So,
Is it the old one or the new one?
no, the new one.
Some-
the new one.
Some X video logo watermarked fucking thing on YouTube.
Screener, some screener. Yes.
It's reversed and it's
Clearly-
like in 10-minute segments.
Clearly filmed on a Nokia, like the front row.
Yeah, so that's been it. I've been getting no gaming in. I'm starting a D&D campaign on Saturday with my two oldest children. That'll be their first official campaign. So we'll see how well that goes for me and my wife.
They must have they must have by osmos an understanding of what D&D is, right?
Look,
Because you
they
play so
played-
much of it.
They played at cons. Like I've taken them to cons where they've done like not Pathfinder Society, the whatever the current Wizards of the Coast
Adventurers
organised
League.
play. Adventurers League, yeah, they've done Adventurers League at cons. That's it, really. So
And in James' house, when you do like the backward count from 3 to 1, it doesn't end in silence. It ends in roll initiative.
So did you have a moment as a father when you were like explaining to your kids like, yeah, you could do anything your imagination sets its mind to in D&D, or did they just inherently understand everything because of just what you do for a hobby?
So one of the cons that runs here in Sydney has a introducing kids to Dungeons and Dragons thing that they'll take any school age. So if as long as they're kindergarten or up, you can drop your kids off for 3 hours and they'll teach them to play. So I deferred that responsibility to other people, and the people that do it are all like safe to work with children background check, and they usually come from like education or childcare backgrounds. So.
Yeah, I have a
So you
friend who
didn't-
used to, he was or they were like chef, I think, was their like side role, but then they moved over to like full-time game master for children at a summer camp kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
So that's it for me. Yeah, nothing else exciting. Just playing the Old Republic, playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and painting models.
And
got, Drummer?
homeschooling. I was out last week because I got my second COVID shot. All good now, but damn, that second one's a doozy. Was for
I've
me
heard
anyway.
I've heard it is worse with the PFizz.
Yeah, well, like mine was weird because I was Team Pfizer for the first shot, Moderna gang for second shot. So I'm like,
What, really? You
Yeah.
can mix them?
yeah, as long as they're the mRNA ones, you can mix them.
Man, holy fuck, that's cool.
Yeah. So I don't know if that had something to do with how bad it was, but I'd never.
What
Had
were you
this-
feeling? Because I had Moderna second, right? So
Just like after the Pfizer, it was like the day before you get sick, and after the Moderna was like, okay, you're actually sick and you're going to be in bed pretty much all day. Have fun.
I
that's it.
just felt really useless for like 3 days mostly. Like I didn't really feel sick. I just felt useless. Basically.
Yours was like 3 days. Mine was like 1 day, one really bad day, and then the next day I was fine.
Yeah, I don't know if I had a really bad day. I just had like 3 days of where I was just like, like zombie mode a little bit. So
I think part of mine was like right around when I was going to sleep, and like I have to have a fan on when I'm sleeping now because it's so goddamn hot at night. But like when I get fevery, my skin gets really sensitive, so everything was annoying, and I just couldn't sleep. So that was part of it. Anyway, I finished the SNES album. I have a date. August 10th is when that comes out. And I have a name, and I have artwork, and I have all that stuff, and they'll be kicking up the promo machine on like the 30th. So we'll be dropping the name and the artwork and maybe a preview of the first track, and then just keep previewing until the release. But that's nice to finally be done. And then get to work on the second season theme song for Roll20's Desperate Gamble, their Star Wars show. So now we're doing
Oh, they're still doing Roll20 stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, they transitioned over to like Distracted Elf is taking over most of the jamming roles.
Okay.
And then they've
Been a while
switched
since
around.
I talked to her, so
Yeah. And then they had Abria Irongar on their first show back, and now Abria is doing the GMing for the new Crit Roll miniseries. So they've got like a whole bunch of, they got like a bit of a revolving door Rolodex of like new people coming through, which is nice actually. See new faces over there. Been playing PSO2. Playing Genshin. Genshin just had a new update, so they got another portion of the map unlocked yesterday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. Japanese-inspired 3 islands that are like in full political lockdown. So like, it's interesting.
Voice acted by Lily Pichu and Erica Mendez, apparently. All the new heroes.
One of the heroes is, she's not available to roll for yet, but
Correct.
Oh, they're still doing that, huh? Where they do a little bit of plot with the new heroes, and then the next thing that drops, they're all of a sudden spend $500 and get them.
yeah. Well, like any smart free-to-play gacha, you just have to save up, recognize the things that you don't want to roll for, and then just like blow your rolls on the next thing.
Look, Fake Grand Order's got that formula down, right? Because at the end of every storyline, all the heroes slowly fade into the throne of heroes, so they basically die. And as they die at the end of the storyline, they're all like, I really hope that one day I'll be able to meet you again. Thumbs up. As they die. And then the next day it's like, look, you can roll on the banner for this hero. And everybody's like, I'm such a shrimp. Fuck.
Yeah, but
They have it down to a fucking science every single time.
Yeah.
Do they remember you when they come back, or is it like
It's always technically a different version. It's like the
what a cop out? What a cop out!
Yeah, but I spend $20 a month on Genshin between the battle pass and the monthly card, and that lets me roll 60 times a month, which is usually enough to get 1 5-star.
I'm saving up all my FGO stuff for Spacious Star.
Yeah. I don't know what that means, but
Revolutionarily game breaking. All right, it's basically.
But I understand.
You know what looping is? Like where
No.
you just use okay, so in FGO you can loop where you use the same move over and over again, and if you have a strong enough support team, it basically makes it so when you use that move, you kill everything on the field, and then you have enough to use the same move again over and over again. Spacious Star.
I think I saw you using that on when you were doing your Bone Zone streams.
Yep. So Spacious Star lets you do that in the arts category now. So you can actually
okay.
do it in arts or quick. So it's basically, she's just totally game breaking. It'll be great.
But like the new, like every time they have a new piece of the map unlock, Genshin kind of gets a new breath of life, because now we got a whole bunch of new enemy types. We have a bunch of new like world puzzles. We have a bunch of new just things to collect, new resources, new talent upgrade books, new weapon upgrade resources to collect. So if you're into that, it's free, you know.
I mean, they're still killing it out here with 5-minute long, fully animated advertisements with voiceover.
Yeah,
Fucking hate Genshin ads, because I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna set a whole bunch of YouTube playlists while I'm in my car, and then I hear someone go, "It's spring in Leeway," and I'm like, "Oh God, I got to pull over to hit the skip ad button, motherfucker!"
Yeah. Just like have your voice commanded me, like every time you yell "fuck," it just skips the Genshin ads. Anyway, that's pretty much me, just gaming. Oh, PoE League on Friday, new PoE League.
Heist, right?
Expedition.
Oh, Is Heist the current one then? I guess.
No, Heist was like 3 leagues ago. Current one is Ultimatum. Last one was Ritual.
I saw a logo of it somewhere today, and I thought maybe that was a new one.
They might be talking about Heist again because like this is the league where they're like nerf everything. They made the act 1 enemies harder to kill and made the players deal less damage because everyone was just like ripping through the campaign. They kind of want to bring the challenge back, but they also added 19 new skill gems. So shake up the meta, you know. I'm gonna play one of the new skills, Spectral Helix, this league. See how it is. It's gonna be good. That's me though.
All right, Dave, Henley. Now look, I can't tell your circumstances, Dave, but I'm assuming even if you only live life to eat different textured food, you maybe have some texture-y preference. You know, like, oh, this actually tastes pretty good.
No, it's not a texture-y preference. Like, for example, if I eat a vegetable, right? Like, I just expect a vegetable to be like stiff, right? Like, or like a little harder to get through. Like, if a vegetable is soft, you know,
or like steamed broccoli.
Steamed broccoli is still like not like mushy.
Artichoke.
You know, like,
You're like my wife who loves banana flavor but can't eat bananas because she doesn't like the texture of them.
I eat a like a unripe banana, like a green banana, right? Like because they just you know, they got the right texture for me.
Right. I can't stand crunchy bananas.
I can't stand the brown ones, you know, like so for me it's all about that sort of texture. Like for example, like I can't eat like just like I can eat pumpkin like paste, but like it's just kind of like
the stringy texture is not great.
It's weird. It's just weird. Like you got to understand there's no flavor to it. It's just kind of like eating like something that feels like it's like rotten. Like that's what it kind of like reminds me of. So when I say texture, I mean like my brain has an expectation to what these things should feel like in my mouth, and if it doesn't feel like that, that's when I don't like it. So it's hard to describe, but like, you know, yeah. Or like when they do that infusion shit, like when they take like a grape and they like snap freeze it, right? So it's like weird in the inside or whatever, or when it goes like crystally on the inside or whatever, my brain's just like, what? This is not good. You know, so
how do you feel about dried fruits?
Dried fruits, I love them.
Kind of get like jammy.
I probably eat more dried fruit than I eat normal fruit here in Poland, at least. When I was in Australia, I ate more, you know, actual fruit, but
yeah,
here they don't have that. Anyway, what was the question, Oliver?
What's up?
I was doing intros.
Oh, hey. I'm stupid busy these days. You know, we're getting Wet Nightmares pretty close to having a prototype or early alpha build released of it with the pre-order. We're doing, like right now, we're setting up like APK and HTML5 demos for it. And we're working with an engine called Visual Novel Maker. And we're pushing it to the extreme. Like we're trying to milk that engine as much as you can. But sometimes it's just like, you know, you're better off like building from scratch with these game engines, because like they're so like a lot of the engines, even Unity is limited. I would say the only game engine that's not really limited in the way that you sort of go about making a game in it is probably the Unreal Engine. Only because the blueprint system is just
like powerful,
just amazing.
What about the new Nintendo Switch programming app?
I don't know. I haven't touched it. But I did manage to get like 15 hours in of New World, which is a new MMO that just I say came out, but like they have a closed beta right now if you pre-order the game, and the game comes out in like 23rd of August or something like that.
Of August. Yeah. Sell the game to me, Dave. I've just looked it up because you mentioned it. I had it before, so sell me the game.
Okay, so it has 3 factions in the world with open world PvP, which you can opt out of. So you can just play it as a standard MMO if you wanted to. But basically, there's like factions vying for control of different regions of this map. The entire world is based on a system of crafting. So if you wanted to say, collect a bunch of resources and then manufacture those resources into like, planks, iron, that sort of stuff, and then use that resource to build like the stuff you need to progress and build your character, you either do it yourself or you rely on other people to do that stuff. And the best part about it is like, so in most games, like everyone's played a video game where you have like a storage and that storage follows you everywhere. In this game, the storage doesn't follow you. So if you have like you go to a major town, you dump all your raw materials in this town and you manufacture them and stuff like that. And then you go to another town, you don't get your resources from the previous town. You have to sort of like, transport them to and fro. It's, I don't know, for me as a like person who enjoys the crafting aspect of video games, it's just like, it's hitting all the right fucking notes in that regard. But in terms of it being an MMO, it's classless. So if you say like you have like 5 or 6 attributes that you can like put points into, and then you can have a primary and a secondary weapon, and then those weapons have like skill trees on them. So that determines what skills you have on your character bar, and and your attributes determine how good you are with those said weapons. Your gear and stuff like that.
Sounds a bit like Secret World. That worked. You had two weapons that had their own action bars, basically, and
yeah, I don't think I ever played much of Secret World. I mean, I know of it, but like I didn't really play much of it. But
is it a theme park or a sandbox?
I would say it's more sandboxy.
Are there quests, or is it just? There's
quests. There's definitely quests. Like, for example, you have faction quests, you have town quests. So, like, if you own, or whoever owns the town can put up, like, hey, we're trying to build this new defenses on this wall, or we're trying to build, like, a new crafting, like a tier 3 crafting bench, for example. You can actually go out into the world and you get rewarded for like putting in like materials and building the basic mats for that stuff to build it. Then there's the faction quest where you go out, they just give you random quests to do, like go out and like go to this point of interest and clear out of all the enemies and stuff like that. And
so it's like WoW quests as opposed to Final Fantasy quests where there's like narrative threads and shit.
And then there's also the narrative ones, right, where like you go through the main plot line of the story and stuff like that. I would say it's more like Guild Wars than World of Warcraft. If you've played Guild Wars 2 at all, it's a little like that, where like the main part of the game is like based around exploration and attacking points of interest and just sort of experiencing the game and stuff like that, rather than say going out and following a story where you go from one camp to a next, collect the quest there, then do them, then go to the next camp, sort of thing. Like, it's not doing that at all. And I don't know, I mean, like, it's just a really interesting game.
Yeah, I'll probably keep an eye out for it, like when it comes up, because like the Amazon studios, they do have a weird track record, so we'll see.
Let me just say this in terms of popularity. There is 18 EU servers, and every single one of them is completely maxed out with queue times in them right now. It's insane how many people, and each server has like 10,000, 12,000 people in it at one time. It's like, it's insane the amount of people playing this game right now. So like, you'll be walking along doing your own thing, and then like you see like a zerg of other faction people come in and just sort of like trying to wreck shit. It's kind of almost like PlanetSide in that regard. I think it's more like PlanetSide than anything else that I've played. So, like the gear that I have, I'm using a spear and a musket as my 2 weapons, and I don't know. It feels real good. Like literally, it's just
free aim too, is not target locked.
Yeah, it's free aim. Yeah. So there's the only target lock stuff is like the healing stuff. So they have like AoE stuff on the ground that you can target, but like the only thing that like tracks onto people is PvE enemies doing it. Like they'll throw a grenade that sort of tracks to you, sort of thing. But players have to like aim at you and stuff. So like the musket, for example, is all based around like doing headshots and like sniping people from a distance and shit. It's really fun. Like disgusting fun, actually. Like I kind of got lost in it a little bit. I'm like, oh man, I really need to stop playing this fucking game because it's too fun. But right now they have a closed beta, like I said. So if you pre-order it on Steam, you get instant access to the closed beta. You can try it out for like 2 weeks. And if you don't like it, you can just refund it and you don't have to worry about it. There's no paid subscription either. So it's like you buy it once and that's it. And then you get access to it forever. And yeah, I don't know. It's just really interesting game. Like it was kind of like it was unique enough where I didn't get, because everyone here has played an MMO before where like you start it up and you just kind of like know exactly what you need to do all the time. In this game they didn't really have that. Like you kind of like get to a point where it's just like, okay, what do I need to do next? But then there's like always people just being like, hey man, you want to like go do this thing for me real quick, or do you want to go check out this point of interest? Yeah. In terms of the crafting stuff, like to put in perspective, I use musket a lot, but you have to like hand make all of the bullets that you shoot. So there's like ammunition in the game that you have to actually manufacture in order to use it. So for example, in order to get gunpowder, I needed to find in the world saltpeter, which in saltpeter you have to go and like explore caves and find a node on the ground, and then you take the saltpeter from the ground. And then you mix it with charcoal, which you get from taking wood and putting it in the kiln and getting charcoal that way. And also flint, which is just a rock you find on the ground, and that makes gunpowder. And then you take that gunpowder and you mix it with cloth, which you get from finding natural fibers, bushes in the world, and harvesting that, making cloth. And then mixing it with iron, which is, you find iron nodes on the ground and you manufacture that into an iron bar. And then you take all those ingredients and you make flintlock cartridges. And that's how you shoot. That's how you get the ammunition for it. So there's like everything in the game is sort of like really tight in terms of like the crafting and stuff. I don't know. That sort of shit gets me though. Like, that's the sort of stuff I like. So yeah. Anyway. That's that. I mean, if that didn't sell you on the game, I don't know. Maybe watch a Twitch stream or something.
Look, I think I always go check out what character creation looks like too. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't really spend much time in character creation because, like, I just picked the goofiest haircut and went with that. Because they're gonna reset everything once the full game comes out. So
yeah, we'll keep an eye out for it. Though I'm just wary of Amazon Game Studios because their last couple of releases have been like released and then back into beta and then completely shelved. And then their Lord of the Rings thing got absolutely canceled.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a weird one too, because I thought this game, like, I remember New World being like an Ark type game, right? That's what I remember New World being, but it's like a full fucking MMO, like. Mm-hmm. That was very surprising to me. So anyway, yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it.
Okay. We have anything else anybody wants to
What have you been up to, Arthur? Take out the rest of this 23 minutes.
Wow. I think I kind of already went over this, but
did you play Yakuza yet?
No, and I never will. Every time you ask, I add another month to the time between when I play Yakuza and now.
Like, I honestly don't give a shit if you play it or not, Arthur, but I'm telling you, you're missing out.
Really busy. So on top of
well, if you're really busy, you'll never finish Yakuza. Like,
I agree.
You need to give some time to it. So
on top of playing a little bit of Ark and just trying to keep my Dino's alive, and the breeding cycle will keep going until the rest of the team that has way more time than me gets all the other artifacts, so that we can finish up the map and move to the actual storyline. I'm planning for the 6th to 7th anniversary. All my shows are starting to end, getting the next seasons of shows ready, getting the next generation of shows ready. Doing Fractal, canceling Ranch Simulator probably. I finally found an artist to do some art for me, and I offered them money and they were glad to accept it. And I should have the art by the end of the night. It's crazy. It's crazy. I haven't experienced this before. I played some Pulsar Lost Colony with the community members last night, and it was incredible. We're going to do it again tomorrow night, and I'm going to try to see if we can get it together every Tuesday for a bit.
I heard that game is fucking not bad. Pretty good.
It's very interesting, but I'm not very good at it. And the scientist class is basically like the full-on support. Like, they have little to no offensive capabilities, so it's very different for me. And I also committed to RPing my character as being a happy person, so I died more than anybody else.
Oh, damn.
And yeah, it was really tough trying to keep a positive attitude when like literally one bullet would slip between people. So I had like a sixth of the health that everybody else did. So, they would like run into a room and I would fall behind them with my healing gun, healing them. And like one bullet would slip past them and kill me. And I'd be like, yes, I am respawning. I'm so happy right now to be respawning. I'm the only person on this crew that has teched into the respawning tree to lower the respawn timer. That's how bad it is. But I'm happy. It was rough.
I also remember that game being very
Ned Flanders
engineering
Death Magnet.
based.
I mean, there's a lot going on, and there was one mission that was like, you have 10 minutes, destroy 3 pillars, and then eject your reactor core. And we failed it like 5 times, and finally I was like, guys, we can do this. And then we did it, but then no one could figure out how to eject the reactor core, and it required the ship to be turned on and a certain level to be pulled to force the ship to stay on, to override it. And the problem was that people were flipping the lever when the ship was off, and I was like, stop flipping this lever. And they were still flipping, and I was like, stop flipping the lever. We have to wait for the moment the ship is fucking on and pull this lever. But I said it happily because my character is happy. And we easily could have cleared it in 5 minutes, but we cleared it with 11 seconds left because of the lever shenanigans. Imagine.
Right, you might recall, AP, that I did a couple of car mechanic simulator streams, or not streams, but videos on YouTube.
Yeah, I recall.
The new version's coming out. Mechanic Simulator 2021 is coming out in a month's time, and so I downloaded the demo, and I thought I'd give it a try. And they've added now the ability to also do other fluids in the car, like power steering fluid and brake fluid. But the tutorial
Headlight fluid, yeah.
The tutorial doesn't tell you how to drain them. This tells you how to add to them. So when the thing is like drain and refill this, only way I can do it is to deliberately like unplug the part so it spills on the floor, and then I get charged a cleaning fee for spilling power steering fluid on the floor.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
I would have just drained it into the oil tap,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's safe to just put all manner of fluids down in that thing. Car mechanic simulator. All right, well, are we ready to get started now, or do you want to hear more about my life? Great.
James, I need you to play My Summer Car. Like, if you could just do that, please, that'd be
I was
fantastic.
going to mention that, actually.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, look, I mean, the extra fluid dynamics in the new game haven't excited me. The fluid dynamics in car mechanics, in My Summer Car aren't going to excite me either.
They
what
have
about
some
the
pretty
fluid
interesting
dynamics?
Fluid mechanics.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It's in the trailer on Steam.
You can pee into the sauna, okay?
Great.
Speaking of
you
fluid
can-
dynamics,
Yep. Coltan. Speaking of exploding heads, you have taken your new best friend, Jane, back to, Dante's vestibule contracting building.
made her shower. If I
Can
remember
I
correctly.
can I do some cyber tech to give him some bonuses here?
Sure, I will allow you to investigate her brain case for a +2.
Is hers more difficult than Glimo's? Because Glimo's was on a timer.
Glimo's was a remote detonator.
What is hers not the same?
I mean, hers is like anti-tampering. You don't know what is the trigger for hers, but all of them have anti-tampering where like you try to pull it out, it explodes. You don't know whether hers is like she can't kill members of Medtech or whether it's, you know.
Does she have any additional cyberware? I guess when I'm like, if I know any of this,
I
which
don't think she
assume-
has any other visible cyberware.
I'm just would a localized EMP disable the thing enough for me to remove it safely?
If the EMP was successful, yes.
What would my cyber tech roll be for difficulty?
20.
You can do it.
He looks shocked when I said that. He's like, "Oh shit."
I'm trying to decide. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I am going to spend 40 experience, 32 floating IP, and 8 cybertech IP to raise my cybertech to level 5.
Okay. Go ahead, make my day.
And then I'm going to put my luck into it.
Perfect. That's exactly the result I wanted. There will now be a penalty to the roll.
Let's get
On
that out
top
of the
of-
way, huh?
Top of anything else that happens. All right. Not much else bad happens. I'm gonna give you a -1. So yeah, Coltan, your resident black cyberware expert is like everywhere. You're like, all right, play Vivaldi's Four Seasons. The room is secure and clean, and then Pascal pops up, like eating a sandwich. Spit everywhere. Just like, oh yeah, that's a J27B right in there, right there.
B salami. What about this
Pascal.
EMP plan though? What would be necessary for me to like localize an EMP enough?
Acquire an EMP. Make sure it does not exceed the bounds of the thing you want to affect, and then use it.
Yeah,
A Faraday cage.
I could do that. My arm is EMP shielded.
Which would be great for your arm, but it would be terrible for everyone else who lives in this building and the whole block.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like how, like, is an EMP like I'm not going to EMP grenade the building. There's got to be like a smaller version.
A small localized EMP.
They probably
Yeah.
have like a microwave version of it or something like that in this game.
Microwave and EMP are not the same thing.
Or what I mean is like a directional EMP,
That's
like
not how EMP
delivery
works.
mechanism.
Or even
Oh, no,
like
and-
even like a lead-lined box that would just have me and the patient in it.
That would block radiation, not an EMP.
Faraday cage would, though.
A Faraday cage would, yes.
I mean, I said that. And no one. Okay, whatever.
I
It's cool.
didn't disagree with it. I didn't disagree with that one. Just the part where you think that EMPs and nuclear radiation are the same thing.
I mean, one does cause the other one.
Sure, in the same way gunshot wounds and bleeding are the same thing. Sure.
What is my target?
25, just like last time. And you have a -1.
25.
The thing
Like
you're
one
trying
of the
to
hardest
do,
rolls you can
it-
make in this game.
it's literally designed to not do the thing you want it to do. They put them in there so that they can't come back out. Only because you're such a genius doctor can you even attempt to accomplish this.
Look, all you need to do is use a saline solution on the brain, and it will just pop out naturally, right?
What?
Yeah, I watched
No.
The Good Doctor today. How can you tell? I'll tell you why. No, it's fine.
Sounds more like you were watching House.
The Good Doctor is House, but autistic version.
If we did the
So
Faraday
it's still a
cage
house.
localized, if we did the Faraday cage localized EMP, how much would that improve my chances?
I mean, if you Faraday cage EMP Jane, it's just gonna work. I mean, you're gonna disable the device. I mean, that's assuming that the device fails its EMP resist roll, right? If it doesn't, it's gonna go up. Someone's trying to turn me off. Explode.
Dead Man Switch.
Well, my Medtech is better than whatever roll I'd have to make for the other thing, I assume.
I mean, you don't have to make a roll with EMP. The device makes a roll to keep from being shut down. Let's see here. Well, Dave, turns out that in Cyberpunk, you
that's
have
what
a
I
1
said.
you have a 1 in 6 chance of using a microwave to short somebody's neural cyberware.
Look, it's been a while since I read the book, but I was pretty sure there was something in there that
So
was
if you're
directional
okay
for
with microwaving a human being several times until you get that 1 in 6 chance to pop up, and then quickly being like yoink. So I
feel
guess
like
it's
the
not
pl-
impossible. It's
I feel
just
like
so
the
crazy it probably won't work.
I like how this went from telling somebody we can do this to us standing over them in an operating room going, "How do we do this?"
We've done the selling point was we've done this before, and now you're like, let's do it differently this time. Oh my god.
Don't
I
you
mean-
get any bonuses for like? Don't you normally get bonuses for like sterile conditions and all that sort of stuff? Or are you just saying that they can do it because they have sterile
You can
conditions?
do it because I mean, listen, if you want to do brain surgery in non-sterile conditions in a back alley, the patient will just die. That's all there is to it.
It wouldn't be the first time in this game.
Okay, let me
Well,
break down how
they've done
how these roles work. It's my base, like I think it's tech
that. Yep.
plus Medtech
Yep.
Yeah.
plus a 2 from my luck because of minus, like I'm spending all 3, it would be minus
Sure.
1. And then a D10, right? As
Yep.
a random part.
Without rolling a 1 on a d10.
Or for a 25.
Yep. What are those
That's
odds?
that's pretty easy to hit, dude. If you think about it from that perspective, you have to roll above a 3, I think, in order to hit that, right? If my math is correct.
And I
So-
almost didn't last time. I rolled like a 2 or a 3 last
So you've got a 1 in 7 chance basically of hitting it, right? No, 7 in 10 chance. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I got 2 of the low numbers out of the RNG.
Nope, that's
for you.
not. Don't.
That's not
Jesus.
how probability works.
Sorry,
Bring the microwave in.
that's not how probability works on roll 20. All right.
Yeah. Well, let's just fucking do it then, I guess.
Hell yeah! What could go wrong?
I could explode.
Confidence is a slow and insidious killer, right?
No, it's overconfidence.
Pretty
Remind
sure it's
yourself.
confidence.
No, it's remind yourself that overconfidence.
23.
No.
What'd you actually roll? Do you have like? Are you damaged
Rolled
at
a
all?
6.
You have a
Why
minus
is it
0
8 plus
plus 2.
7? Oh, is it an int rather than a tech?
Oh well, there you go.
Medical tech 15, 16, 17 plus 6. Yeah, that all adds up to me.
No, like what's the base?
Let's take a look.
Because none of those are my base tech. My tech is 9.
Well, just look at the skill on your skill sheet. I should tell you.
You're
It's a
rolling
primary skill, so I don't know.
Medtech. Yeah.
Yeah. Because a 9 will make it. 9 versus a 7.
Medtech.
You sure you're not injured or something?
Nope, not injured.
I'll tell you what you roll it with.
Because if it's a tech roll, it would succeed with a 25.
So Medtech is
Roll tech and your medical skill in 1d10.
yeah.
Yeah, so it would make it then. I don't know why it's a 7.
Have you got it set up wrong on your sheet?
No, it could just be the person who wrote the sheet or programmed it wrong. We've encountered that several times. We just check your sheet just to confirm everything you're saying before I explode this poor woman's head. Your tech is 9, your med tech is 8, so it's going to be 17, plus 2 is 19, plus a 6 is 25. Very well! Even with Pascal Shaden giving you bad advice and getting in your way, it's barely, you get the like, no doctor, don't do that.
Yeah. My little
the blue wire.
my little micro pincers grab the piece of bologna first.
You take the capsule and then you LA County Sheriff's Office this bomb. You just throw it into the street and it explodes.
It's probably one of those bombs that's like is designed to be immediately fatal to the person, but not dangerous to anybody else around. So it's actually probably a very small explosive put in a very sensitive area. So
it's neurologically planted, so it's just meant to blow her head up.
It's like one of those paint capsules inside of like stolen money bags.
yeah. Or the scene from Mission Impossible 2
Let me just...
or 3, Mission Impossible 3.
Kingsman. When everything just starts going glittery.
Oh my god, I forgot about that movie. I the church scene, the ending, and the part where like
There we go.
all the heads blow up. Yeah, that's what I remember from that movie.
That's just a test to make sure I fixed it.
Yeah, what happened there?
In the... What was it? In the class ability, class specialty attributes, it was int rather than tech tagged.
Okay.
So now it's tagged as tech, and it's fine. And we just fixed it the last roll. So that just means that it's been rolling at a -2 for the entire campaign so far.
Well, friends, you now have the slightly larger problem of gathering up several hundred thousand, or how much is it? Take a look here.
It was like
50,000 worth of highly illegal materials, all of them, well, like most of them military based.
which reality will be half of that because half of them are going to die in this expedition, but
Well, this is what they asked for. And then you have to convoy it through the war zone down to their base, which is literally in the exact middle of the city, at the farthest point from any distant place you can get. It's the reverse Tatooine.
you'll never deliver a $50,000 payload to such a hive of scum and villainy.
I don't know. We drove one slightly armored Jeep down there, and it was fine. So,
You were attacked twice.
and they didn't jack all to us.
Okay. If you... Yeah, okay. But it's going to take more than that to transport all these goods.
I'm
Is
sure.
there-
Yeah,
asking
that I
for-
understand.
I'm sure.
Okay.
What's her name will have like how they get gear down here
They don't.
beforehand. They probably have a back.
They don't. They literally had like swords and homemade guns. Straight up Fallout out there.
So, is it street deal to get hold of the stuff to begin with?
Yeah, so look, the stuff she's asking for isn't really that difficult to get for someone like you, right? Finrals, Arasaka, shotguns, grenades, huge piles of ammo, furniture, and clothing. Like, some of this stuff you could just buy in a store. The problem is the bulk of it, right? Like, you're asking for, 30 Finrals. That's going to raise some questions to someone down the line unless you literally money launder it by buying like 5 Finrals from 6 sources and keeping it quiet. So the difficulty of the role here isn't in acquiring things, it's about keeping it quiet from someone asking questions. Which is why it's a 17.
That's pretty decent difficulty.
25.
Okay. It only costs you 40,000 to acquire this package. Through excellent negotiation and picking up from a huge number of street gangs, you know, they're like, oh, yeah, we just killed somebody and we've got like 4 Finrals. And you're like, great, I will take those very hot weapons off of your hand. And they're like, great, we'll give you a great deal because we don't want to have them because we shot a bunch of cops with these. So through strategic negotiation and 40,000, oh my god, what's the currency of this universe called? Eddies. There we go. I was about to say credits or C-bills or
Eurobucks.
Space books.
So,
throne gelt.
Gil.
so are we splitting this, or is Pascal taking it on?
Oh, the cost? How much was it?
40,000.
So we do 10k each.
Yeah.
Where did my money go on this sheet? This
Equipment,
always
cash.
Oh yeah, 10k each. That's fine. Yeah.
Good.
All right, Pascal.
I've still got 65k.
Over the course of 48 hours, people are going to, you'll have, like, you personally will have to go out and do a bunch of face-to-face deals with people in various unsavory locations throughout the city, gathering everything up. During that time, you start getting a lot of stories that your faction of people who support you in the Filipino mafia are basically being removed. You know, you aren't there to personally lead them. They don't have an infrastructure of support in place. And your father is systematically removing any trace of you. No overt moves towards you yet, although you do know that he triggered your head bomb.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of
Or
over.
does he think that he's dead? Like,
No,
okay.
Pascal's clearly alive.
Yeah, when he's out there doing street deals.
Yeah.
That's just his good-looking twin.
Pascal
If
with
he's out
glasses
there
on.
doing deals for heavy ordnance, they probably assume he's coming after them.
Yeah. Pretty reasonable.
I will wait for him at the appointed time that he knows about, and then he just never shows up.
Pascal gets the
Just never deals with his dad ever again.
he gets the extra shoulder cyberware so you can have 4 additional arms, so he shows up with 3 Finrals at the same time. He
But I don't
buys
buy
2
into that.
sensor masks so he can look in 3 directions at once.
But I don't buy into that reflex booster, so I still got a reflex of 4. I drop 4 Finrals on the ground from fumbling.
You just fire
just-
them all at the same time and they just go like blasting behind you.
Look, all you need to do is make sure you put a lot of bullets down a hallway, and reflex doesn't matter anymore at that point. So.
Yeah, when you're firing 4 assault rifles at once, accuracy is not really a consideration.
Yeah, just look at that movie, that Bollywood Terminator movie. He didn't have a problem.
What do the rest of you do? Jane, of course, needs to recover in a hospital for probably
I think-
more than 2 days, but it's not like she has a choice, really. She's got
Well,
to...
I'm doing the same thing I did for Glimo and giving her a quick heal boost.
Okay. Interesting.
And I assume I'm the attending right now.
Sure. I'll have you roll for that then. That'll be another Medtech. You just need to hit a 15.
2 days, you said?
Yes.
And that is enough time for Glimo to get all these guns together?
Yes. Sorry, you can... let's make that a first aid roll instead. What would that make the difference here?
My first aid is Medtech.
Instead of first aid.
So the thing is that they're 2 separate skills when it comes to the way that medical works. Because you make a
But
Medtech...
when it comes,
yes,
when
I
it comes to,
understand.
like,
I understand, but what you have to literally make a first aid roll to do the first aid thing.
I don't have a first aid skill.
Okay.
Yeah, but it says in the book that medtechs roll medtech instead of first aid.
Makes a check as
If Yeah, if
Yep,
you have,
you're right. Character with medical tech skill makes a check as if using the first aid skill. However, all right. I'm trying to get you a couple extra skills here for experience purposes, but all right. Just roll the same skill again and you're good.
I did. 19.
Yeah, like I said, you're good. She will recover a bit of health. And by that I mean she won't die of infection.
And if she has like questions or whatever, because we were both ex-Militech. Because I'm assuming Militech were the people that sent me to South America.
Sure. I don't know that she has questions. She's kind of just recovering in a hospital, you know?
Yeah.
She's had major brain surgery and she's feeling kind of not on top of her game, on top of being, you know, dehydrated and poor nutrition, high stress level, poor air quality, or sewage control.
She's probably feeling the best she's ever felt, honestly.
She might in a couple of days of this, but not immediately.
And like,
Can she taste colors now?
What the fuck? She's not on drugs, man. Well, I mean, she's on drugs, but not that kind of drugs.
Yeah. Like if she's been living in the
super heroin or LSD, I don't know.
Yeah.
C4 is no longer seeping into her brain, so
doing 3 brain dances at once, you know.
So, you actually have a deeper drama unfolding beyond just taking care of her, of course. Gosh, I don't remember this guy's name. Was it Jacob? Was the guy that tried to do an end run, and then is he still alive, or did we kill him?
No, he's still alive.
Yeah, I remember he's still alive for some reason. And
Pascal fumbled again.
Yeah, so he's desperately you promised him something more than what he is right now, which is like a junior research assistant.
As long as he doesn't fuck up again.
Yeah, so he's look, I'm going to describe a situation I think we all know. That one team member who acts like they're in charge of the whole project and like, you know, is like, all right, so what are you working on today? You know, they have no authority to do any of this, but they basically take a managerial position with no... Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Am I?
Yeah, that's me in business.
Okay.
What you're describing is an associate producer, and I feel hurt. So.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you have the title associate producer, this is your job. Okay.
You're just walking up to someone who's working very hard and be like, you have problems. Tell me your problems so I may fix them.
Yeah, that's what that's what Jacob's doing. He's trying to be seen as having a leadership position, and it's kind of pissing everybody off because they don't know that the two of you have a deal, and they just see him as some annoying guy interfering with their incredibly compartmentalized super secret work.
Has he forgotten the part about if he fucks up?
He's trying not to fuck up, but you know, he's just trying to be seen. But yeah, I mean, it's up to you to decide how to deal with the situation. On top of that, your good guy Alphonse has been writing long treatise white papers about kind of like a protest against continuing Project Limelight here, that the importance of memory and like the tied to persona and how important it is to people. It's mostly philosophical, right? Some of the rest of the employees are interested, but most people are like, what are you, some sort of bleeding heart fucking idiot? Like, stop with this shit. We're here to do business. This is a fucking job. Also, I've been working on this for 20 years. I have a master's degree. Who are you?
Also,
you've been alive for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, maybe the guy writing in treatises about how important memory is without having any memories is a bit of a...
Yeah. I mean, on the other hand, you know, he's finding himself. But yeah, it's not exactly a rebellion against you or the project, precisely, but it is calling into question
ethical quandaries.
For those people that still feel shame, whether or not what they're doing might be wrong. You know, the people who work for Dante Fierro in the biomedical research aren't exactly the most highly moralistic fellows to begin with.
I mean, if they bring it to my attention, because I just did brain surgery and have been attending someone who just had brain surgery.
So these are your two issues: is that Alphonse is writing interesting white papers, and Jacob he's stepping. Some would say he's stepping up.
I want to organize a meeting between Alphonse and Jacob and create Alphonse as Jacob's mentor.
Oh my god. Amazing. Is there a role for like leadership or
Yeah.
is there...
There's like a teaching role as well.
Education, I have it.
Education and stuff like that.
I don't know if that would be what Alphonse is doing for him.
I thought the education skill is more like, because it's called education and general knowledge is the full skill name, so it's more like the fact that you've been educated rather than your ability to teach somebody else.
Yeah,
Right,
teaching is its own skill.
There is a teaching training skill.
I also have teaching 3.
But that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something about you putting these two together and making it work out. Maybe it's not even a skill
Do
role.
I need a role? I'm a manager.
Yeah, I
of this
don't know if
project.
it'll be a role.
There's empathy, leadership. There's literally one in there for that. So
Yep, I'll take leadership. Sure.
there's also social as well, like under empathy, social.
I'll make this real simple. It's a
Or there's
12.
oratory under.
It's a 12.
This is an oratory for sure. Listen, you literally are the leader of an entire project.
Is it still empathy?
Empathy leadership, yes. Gonna be rough for you, maybe.
Yeah, I've got EMP6. As long as it's not
Okay.
cool or body or attractiveness.
Sounds like 50%. Sure.
Leadership based on attractiveness. Okay, yeah. I can see that work.
I guess that would be
Influencing-
influencer.
Yeah. Influencing is the skill of letting other people have your way.
Yeah, I don't know if I actually care about like if they enjoy having my way. I just want Alphonse to be his mentor so they take care of each other.
Sure.
That's kind of my MO. My problems, if I have 2 of them, I want them to take care of each other.
Yeah, don't worry. That
Doesn't
other
bother
clock
me.
is still building in the background.
Wonderful.
So you're trying to create a skill called create bromance.
Oh no. Is that a 2? Did you roll a 2?
I think so, yeah.
It'd
Yeah,
roll
you
a
did.
2.
Wow. All right.
What was the base skill? Leadership?
Yeah. All right.
Almost.
Look, as far as you know, the two of them are getting along well together, and everyone accepts the situation because no one would report to you otherwise.
Great.
Fortunately,
every-
Alphonse trigger word kill gets activated.
Yeah. If everything goes well, I won't have to deal with it anyway.
He who must not be named, kill. Set that one up to take care of all the Harry Potter fans.
Jacob accidentally says the kill phrase.
Shamalama ding dong.
Who would say that in general conversation, right?
Well, I was watching this show called Leave It to Beaver, and they have this really old lingo.
My kids have gotten to Harry Potter recently, and one of my children recently tried to Imperio one of my other children. I'm just waiting until they Avada Kedavra each other.
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing is, when it comes down to it, if you're gonna be a dark wizard, right, there's no reason to use anything other than Avada Kedavra, right? There's no way to counter it. So you can know a billion spells, but it doesn't matter because if someone Avada Kedavras you, you're dead. That's it. There's literally no coming back from it. There's no
I'm pretty sure there's a skill gap. Like Avada Kedavra is not like an AR in the States where you can just walk in somewhere and buy one.
I mean, you just need to be able to do the wand motion and recite it correctly. That's it. That's all
Isn't
there
it
is
like
to it.
you need to be able to do it correctly though, right? The whole point of the wizarding school is to learn how to do shit correctly.
All right, but you learn this one neat trick, okay? That's it. Your whole career as a dark wizard is made. You're never going to need anything else in a duel. They're like, oh man, wizarding duel. You need to know dozens of spells in order to counter them. And I'm like, you need to know one spell.
Wasn't there only like 2 or 3 people that even knew how to do it?
No, there's by the end of the book, everybody on both sides is doing it.
Yeah, Harry Potter like fucking starts.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's the unkillable. You know, it's like you can't use these 3 curses, and at the end of it, everybody's like, yeah, man, we got a fire sale on these words, bro.
Damn.
What you need to be worried of, James, isn't that spell. It's when they say, "Oh, I'm not going to use the bathroom anymore. I'll just I'll poop this, remove
Apparate
this."
it. Oh my
Because
goodness.
wizards don't use bathrooms apparently. So.
Yeah, they do. There's bathrooms in the movie.
Yeah, but
No.
J.K. Rowling clarified that in the past, before bathroom technology existed, wizards just shat or peed themselves and then apparated it somewhere else.
Well, no one cares what J.K. Rowling thinks anymore.
Oh man! Every time I think about that, I can't swallow liquids anymore.
That's the thing. It was like a decade. It was like a decade after she wasn't famous anymore. She just popped out of nowhere. And someone was like, "What's one neat fact?" And she was like, "That's my neat fact." And I'm like, "Really? That's your neat fucking fact?" People still love butterbeer, and you're gonna ruin it with piss and shit? Okay.
I'd rather just get Tolkien TikTok and see what happens.
Oh no! All right, we're getting back to things. Look, you don't have a lot going on right now, Wolfgang. You successfully negotiated a highly illegal hit on Arasaka, negotiating a false flag third party. Your husband doesn't suspect you yet. You've got a murder kill bot that defends you.
Wolfgang needs to organize a dinner date between Gus and Silverhand.
Oh,
No, I need to do it.
yeah.
I need to do an insurrection first before that happens, right? Like, or is that happening before we go on?
I think
Yeah, that's right.
think
You pay before you pump.
Nomad buddies to help us deliver this convoy.
It's also true.
they're gone, man. They left a long time ago.
yeah, they left.
They're out of here.
You're talking about the Bayou Boys? Yeah,
Yeah, the Bayou guys.
they were
they're
literally
gone.
like, "We're gonna finish this microchip for your brain, and then we're gonna leave. Goodbye. We'll be back later."
Is it later yet?
it's like 4 days.
It's more like 4 weeks, but yeah, they're not gonna be back for a whole year until next
This is no
season.
skid mark. This is Pascal. I've got a job for you.
The rest of the crew does have a point. You could try to acquire additional assets to help with the transport. I mean, at this point, you don't even have another vehicle to transport things in. So
It's true.
Bishop could also do that. I just, I've been checking in on everybody during this period that Pascal's working hard, getting.
Oh, I know
where we
exactly what I'm doing. I've got a bunch of cash. I would like to create a safe house to take us to eventually.
Oh, perfect. I love safe houses. Remember Dante had one and we never used it? Mm-hmm. I played Cyberpunk 2020 before. That's why I knew the importance of safe houses. All right. So, speaking of money laundering, let's talk about how you're going to pay cash for your new house. Where would you like it to be?
Well, I'm not entirely familiar with like the landscape of.
Let's talk.
Redline,
Don't
but-
worry about geographical position, right? Let's talk about
Yeah, okay.
class.
Well, the idea here is like this is sort of like witness protection, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Like how I imagine this going is we distract Arasaka enough, give them enough bullshit to worry about that they don't care about an accountant anymore. And by the time that they do care again, they're like, "Yo, where the fuck is he at?" Right? And by then, Gus is and potentially Wolfgang are in a completely different place. Living on the beach, serving Mai Tais or some shit, right? Like we're in the witness protection. We're out of the game. Like
So,
that's sort of the end goal
Not here,
right?
then.
So,
You're going to make it somewhere where there isn't an Arasaka facility.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
that increases the difficulty of this, by a step. You got.
Oh yeah, no. I imagine this is not a single role. Like this
Sure.
is sort of like a.
Well, maybe
like,
it will
I
be.
need-
We'll talk.
Okay.
Look, there's a couple of
That's the goal,
factors that
yeah.
are involved here. Let me lay out what I've got just off the top of my head. One, you want something with a fantastic level of luxury. That's going to increase the price, if not the difficulty. Number
Let's
two,
not go fantastic level of luxury. Let's
you
let's
said
just
you wanted to go live your life drinking on the beach.
You don't. That's not exactly like incredible luxury. That's
All right.
remote. Like that's like Yeah.
He did
Anyway,
say serving Mai Tais too, so he wants to become a waiter.
We already know that Gus is a waiter, though.
Yeah.
Oh
Gus
my
was a waiter in
god,
the previous
they're
one.
going to open like a no, I got it. They're gonna get a houseboat, right? With one of those Fifth Element style little shops on it that you can drive your jet ski up to at night for the bar. Then they close the bar and just go to sleep.
It's Gus's Cabana.
It's a party every night. Yep. Yeah, Gus's Cabana. We got it. Nailed it. Fucking done.
I don't know about a houseboat. That sounds awful in this day and age.
I mean, the thing about houseboats is they combine the worst parts of a house with the worst parts of a boat. So
Exactly.
What's not to like?
high
Well, then
moisture
again-
levels.
Then again, the water level is rising globally, so
Sure.
no. So I don't know. It would probably be like, we went over to, where did we go before in that last adventure? Yeah, that was pretty
the
remote.
Philippines?
Right? Yeah, like it'd probably be somewhere like that, some sort of like
Of course.
Asia country, most likely, or something like that, where you could be,
You know, if you're
foreigner.
looking
I do
for,
get closer to Arasaka's headquarters.
I was just gonna say, if you're looking for a safe place to hide from Arasaka in a foreign
what about-
country that might be friendly to you that has beachfront territory, can I introduce you to the continent of Australia? You may not have heard of it before.
Are they still alive in
Yeah,
Cyberpunk? I never actually looked at it.
there's basically nothing happening in Australia in Cyberpunk 2020.
It's just like modern day now.
It exists.
What about Germany? Is there anything in Germany going on? Because
Sure,
Wolfgang is German. So
Germany
yeah.
has tons of stuff going on. Most of them involve corporate war.
That's right.
Okay.
It's the Eurozone.
Yeah. So
What
look,
about space? Can we go to space now?
Yes.
look, if you have a shit ton of money, you could go to space. So a lot of these,
Arasaka.
look, Philippines less so, or any like if you want to live anonymously in some, I'm gonna say third world, but that really doesn't apply as much in the Cyberpunk universe.
Not really. Yeah.
Any not first world industrialized country, disappearing isn't too hard, right? But if you want to live anywhere where identification is necessary, you're going to need fake IDs with a complete back history, especially if you want to work at any point further in your life.
So it's already been established that Wolfgang has that sort of stuff already, but I
Yes,
don't know
but
if
does
Gus
Gus have it? Is
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah. So
The other thing to note is that a lot of your ability to do that is tied to Arasaka, so who knows how compromised those identities might be.
Just do some body sculpting for Gus, make him super attractive, and then eventually he leaves you.
First off, Gus is quite a lovely man, so he doesn't need any body sculpting, and I
doesn't need it,
I resent that. But like anyone else, he does have things he could want to improve on. But ask first.
okay. So how about this? We'll go. Australia sounds pretty good. That's funny as well. Like, let's do that. That sounds good.
What are you thinking? Brisbane, Sydney, or Alice Springs? No one will ever find you in Alice Springs.
Yeah, we died. We died in an opal mine, and no one found us. So I think it'll probably be on the west coast, east coast.
Lakefront
Most
property
likely,
in Lake Disappointment, Australia.
So probably
real?
Yorkie's. So probably Yorkie's Knob or something like that. No. No, we'll probably go Brisbane, Gold Coast. I imagine. I don't know if they have that there, but yeah. I don't know what's left. So.
Okay. Sure. All right. So you've got the place. First, you're going to need to get there, right? Which could take a while. Then you'll need to get into the country, which
I think
IDs
it would have to
help,
be,
but smuggling would help more.
I think it would have to be boat. There's enough space in Australia. I don't know what it's like in 2020, but like for a while there, we did have a lot of problems with smuggling people into Australia via boats. So at least when I remember. So.
Well, look, you know a good fixer if you want to rely on him. You know, you have some nomad friends as well. You even
I'd
know,
probably
you know, the orphan
rely on-
scion of a nomad clan.
I would probably not try to involve my regular crew. I would probably try and find other people, only because, like, you know, I know what Arasaka is capable of, and I don't know the training levels of, like, you know, our dear doctor, for example, when it comes to getting the squeeze put on him. So if
You
I
don't
can
think
avoid that, I
Coltan
will.
could resist torture?
I mean, maybe drugs, not so much torture. Like
Well,
when they're
resist
ripping off
drugs
his
and torture is
fingernails.
one skill, so
Okay, all right.
That's
But, you know,
9. He can resist anything.
so that's I would probably go with the nomad direction for smuggling. I
okay.
think.
So you're gonna contact the Bayou Boys and try to get some nomads to smuggle you from your current location out to Australia.
Yeah, that does that probably sounds like the end goal for Wolfgang, I think. So
Okay.
I'll probably try and spend the next couple of days setting that up. Yeah.
I don't know that you have to make a roll on this. You will need to make identities at some point and come up with a backstory. But other than that, what is the distance from New Jersey to Australia as the boat rolls?
Oh, it's probably be 3 months, I'd imagine.
That's a time, which I suppose is a method of
The
distance.
Google Maps travel by foot time thing.
That's not. What?
You can like say your method of travel on Google Maps from place to place.
Sorry, we could not calculate walking directions from New Jersey to Australia. I'm
No,
so
it'll-
shocked to hear that.
It'll be like, get to the coast, rent a jet ski.
Oh my god. So because of COVID, Google Maps will not allow you to calculate flights.
Wow.
You son of a bitch!
Oh,
I can't
God
figure out the
damn.
distance without you! Fuck you! Fuck you, Google!
Just go way back machine and
Holy
go back
shit.
to 2019.
2019, yeah.
Unbelievable. Alright. Here we go. The distance is 10,620 miles through flight. So let's assume that it's like 30% more with
Well, that's going.
Yes,
across
as the crow
America
flies.
and down.
yes, that's why I'm adding 30% to it. Because I'd assume Panama Canal to
Okay.
so that's 13,000. Okay, so it's gonna cost each of you like it's gonna cost you like 80,000 to get smuggled over there. This is a huge
80,000.
distance. Yep. We need to get some cash together, brother.
Okay. And what about an IOU for these guys?
What do you mean? Like I'll pay you back later for smuggling me?
No, as in like my skills and services in exchange.
Oh, interesting. Are you gonna tell them what your skills are? So far,
Absolutely, if it comes down to it, man.
If you're going to put a bomb
Interesting.
in your head, then Drummer can take it out.
That'll be $80,000. What about a favor?
Listen, everyone has people they hate, Arthur Perkins.
but not many people have someone they hate $80,000 worth to kill.
This is why Colton's using
When you-
his memory wiping thing on himself first, because eventually he'll be like, have it so small that it'll be in the darts that he uses to put people to sleep. It's like memory wipe, memory wipe, memory
No,
wipe.
it doesn't have to be $80,000 worth, Arthur. It just has to be enough for because I got 40,000 euro bucks on me. So
What? Your skills are like infiltration and murder, huh?
No.
Espionage.
It's basically digging up dirt on people for blackmail purposes. That was my main one, but I can also do wet work. I'm not a fan of it, but like most of the stuff is mostly focused around like leverage, essentially.
You can also weaponize trees against almost anything.
Look, blackmail is very important in the corporate world, but for nomads, threatening someone with blackmail is almost meaningless because they're going to leave in 2 months, right? Like, Blackmail, now like blackmail against another nomad, like someone above you in the nomads might work, but the Bayou Boys as a whole don't want you for blackmail. Wet work, maybe some sort of like war consultant, that might work.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely help out with that, and maybe even like do sabotage work for them as well. Like that's not a big deal too.
All right. I think they come back to you with a deal. They will smuggle Gus to Australia for 40,000, and then you work with them for 6 months to pay off your debt.
Those are very reasonable terms.
They want you to help them become preem, like top nomads, to start acquiring other nomad tribes to expand their family. Vin
Is this
Diesel
local
style.
or is this like
All across the United States. They're gonna do rolling to try to just swoop up as many families as possible and make a Bayou Boys #1. You know what I mean?
There is one condition to this though.
Sure.
That my name stays out of any of the work that gets done.
They tell you can do that anime shit where you just wear a mask and a voice synthesizer and nobody cares as long as you do the job.
Okay, I mean that's fine by me. The only reason is I want to stay off the radar of
Yeah, I mean that's you're if you're smuggling yourself to Australia to start a new life, I think they understand that.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Bishop, it's been a long road to get to you. What do you do in those 2 days? What's your boiling backstories?
I just want to verify the plan here. So
Sure.
this gang now is, once we arm them appropriately, they are prepared to use the Punknaut, employ the Punknaut as prescribed against Arasaka. Is that right?
Correct.
And has Pascal already organised things like Medtech uniforms, equipment that they need to.
Yep.
No. So, is there anything else then that we need?
Transport?
So what are we transporting?
You have to transport all of these weapons to their compound.
Okay.
So they had demands for like, if we're gonna do this, we want a lot of guns for the people who are gonna stay behind and live, and food, clothing, necessities, like cleaning units and filters and all that kind of crap, armor. You got to transport that out through the war zone's no man's land to them. Also, they are privately working on a plan to make it. You ask them to make it more Militech-y.
Yeah, it has to look like Medtech is fingering Arasaka. Right?
They're working on that themselves.
Yeah.
Some way to enhance or boost that would help as well.
What about because they're not soldiers, they are gangs.
Some of them are former soldiers, but yes, they are now all gangsters, barely surviving.
Okay,
using
so
fear.
Would some sort of have you seen the show Barry?
Nope.
So I think it's something like some sort of training thing to make sure, to help them pull off the concept that, because the whole thing is they're obviously a gang, but to pull off the concept that they might actually be Militech functioning people inside their group, and this is actually a corporate attack disguised as a gang attack. Whether I could go and provide additional training or because the only thing that I want to do is right before the attack takes place, I intend to give Master Exploder a call and try to give enough warning that Arasaka could at least get civilians out of the way. I not enough time to stop the attack, but enough time to mitigate collateral damage.
Sure. Interesting. Well, there are several ways you could go about this. Yes, if you wanted to risk it, you could drive out there yourself and give them additional training. You could prepare like a bag of evidence. You know, like you saw cops earlier that had what's called drop pieces. You could get in contact with medias to either plant evidence or even arrange for somebody to ride along with your Militech troopers to tell the real story. You know?
Yeah, I live in a Militech compound, so I could even just go through trash and pull out various things
Receipts.
that might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to prepare something like that in your spare time,
The
sure.
return of Mash Nathers, one last job.
Yeah. I mean, look, I've got an investigation background, so I could hopefully put together enough collateral to.
Yeah, I don't know that you need a role to do this, but yeah, I think we
Yeah.
get you and your cat spending long nights assembling papers and documents, but also like physical evidence, maybe like shell casings and.
Yeah, I don't need to roll. I'm happy to just to be doing something to contributing to the.
A stick of gum, like a wad of gum with some Medtech commander's DNA on it that can be discovered, punched underneath one of the Punknots consoles. That Arasaka will discover it and be like, oh, this is the final link. We know it's true now. I always like to go back to Deep Space Nine whenever I talk about the best Star Trek, and there's the episode where they fake evidence and give it to the they give it to the Romulans, and the Romulans are like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. We're gonna call home and tell our people about how bullshit it is. And then Garrick's like, great, go back to your ship real quick. Click click, and they blows up the ship, and then everybody's like, why would the Cardassians do this? Why would they blow up the ship if it wasn't real? And Garrick's like, yep, that's exactly what I wanted people to think. It is a fake. But all we needed was the idea that it was real, and then to kill the Romulans. That whole episode, when I was a kid, I was like, "Wow, Garrick is the most evil person on this show."
And Cisco's like, "I just killed somebody, and I don't feel bad about it."
I can live with that.
Yes,
I can live with that.
Yeah, so that's what you're doing essentially. You're pulling a Garrick and Cisco at Tanagra.
When the walls fell.
All right. All of your plans come together. Everything is ready 48 hours later. You don't have transport yet. You just have a shady warehouse on like a 48-hour lease to Pascal one of Pascal Jaden's many identities, filled with guns and ammo and a whole mix of livables. Far too much to fit even in like one moving truck.
So the question is, if we could hire an AV and a pilot, could that get to where we need to go, or because it's under the plate, there's no flying routes?
No, I mean, there's nothing to stop you there, right? Police, as you go in, the police are going to be like, hey, rich person, you probably shouldn't go there, but we can't stop you because we're not going in there to get you, right? There's almost certainly some sort of automated FAA beacon to indicate someone flying at this height at these GPS coordinates should be aware that there's no rescue. If you go down, no one's going to recover you, et cetera, et cetera. Like, you're on your own. Welcome to the lawless zone.
Okay. What we need is to just find a trauma team AV, load it up with our guns, and then have someone down the zone and break their trauma team card, and the AV will set up, no problem. Bring the guns too.
Oh my god. Yep. Now your plan involves stealing another corporation's vehicle to pull off your plan.
No. Just loading up with stuff. They can fly down there. I don't care. But so, what do you think, Pascal? Do we try and? I mean, we can drive it there, but if there's any word of this leaks out, then the gangs are going to want to hit this. Yeah, we've got a shipment full of weapons in a big truck. People are going to hit it. Otherwise, we see if we can find a pilot that will take us down there in an AV. Hell, even a helicopter will do. But something to just get it above the gang's radar long enough that we can drop the gear off.
I like the idea of of going in on an aerial assault.
We're not selling anything. We're just dropping the gear off for the gang.
I understand, but yeah. Being up above probably gives us our best chance to get in and out without getting jacked and ending up in a firefight. Doesn't Wolfgang have his
piloting?
Pilot Navy?
He's
I
got
do.
chips.
That is the cyber chip he ordered from the Bayou Boys, actually.
Yeah, but we're not gonna buy an AV.
You could steal an AV.
Yeah.
Are there AV rentals? How does that work?
There are AV rentals, but no one is going to rent you one to go where you're going.
They don't know where to. I don't need to know where we're going.
That is why GPS tracking was invented.
That's more a case of saying, can we find like an AV pilot that works similar to the pilot we found previously?
I could call up Sparrowhawk. Is that his name?
Yep, Sparrowhawk. That's it's his runner name. I don't know that I consider it his name, but sure. I
could call up Sparrowhawk. We're on good rapport.
He's not an AV pilot. Pilots real planes, fixed wing.
Is that the only thing he does?
That's the only thing you know him to be capable of doing. I don't.
He also doesn't have an AV. No,
correct.
That's the problem.
He also doesn't have. He does have a plane now, right? You bought him one.
That's the deal.
Yes. Yep.
After this,
I bet he makes a pretty mean homebrew as well. Like he seems the type of guy that would brew his own beer. Like,
I mean, he literally invented a plane grappling cannon that he used called Big Bertha. Is that what it was?
Bessie.
Yes. Okay. So
Bessie Mahler.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that home brewing would be beyond him. Microbrewery, maybe a good kombucha.
I
feel like finding a pilot is less difficult than finding the craft itself.
Well, finding a pilot, they're maybe better connected and could help us find
quality aircraft,
or at least one that will do.
Sure. You gonna call him up then?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So you get Sparrowhawk on the phone. He's just like, "Oh, hey, Coltan, how's it going?"
Hey, good. You wouldn't happen to know how to fly an AV or know anyone who has a spare AV we could use for the afternoon?
I know people who have AVs. I don't know that I would specifically say that I know anyone, What do you need it for? I assume this isn't just a pleasure cruise?
This is for a job.
Okay, then that kind of lowers your options a little bit.
I figured.
Look, I know that we can't share a lot about the job, but can you give me some minor details as to the profile of the job?
Dropping supplies under the plate.
Really? Look, I know a guy. How willing are you to steal a helicopter?
Like do the Cyberpunk equivalent of like hand over the receiver. How willing are we to steal a helicopter?
I'm like eating a sandwich. I just put a thumb up. It's just like
we're good. No problems with that.
Okay. There is a small helicopter, a Bell F-152 auto gyro, that I know a former police officer has it. He brings it to shows sometimes. I can fly it, and it's a one-man deal, but it can carry quite a bit of cargo, underneath it on pallets. It's
can
fast.
It carry? I'll give him like the details of like our cargo, just like this many guns, this much ammo, this much food.
It's gonna be close. I think, with a little juice in the engine and some modifications, we can make it work. We're probably gonna have to dump a lot of the weapons package to make some weight and, like the radio and some of the other useless crap off of it. But yeah, I think we can make it work.
As long as you can get it in and out quick. There's actually...
Top speed is almost 200 miles an hour. I don't know how quick you want.
Here's the thing. I made a deal. If this job goes off, you get a new plane. Whatever you want.
So I'm in on the job now.
Not particularly.
I mean, who else are you going to get to fly this thing once you've got it?
Well, I mean, if you want to be in on the job, like, I've already made the deal that I'm foregoing my reward because I feel bad about what happened to your plane.
So I'm in on the job.
As long as a plane is a good enough reward, then yeah.
Yeah, plane is more than a good enough reward, Coltan.
Good.
All right, look, Doctor, let me get around to flexing my limbs a little bit, get back up to practice, maybe go hit the net, get a F-152 manual, maybe a practice program, you know, like that movie The Matrix that came out in 1999.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need a chip or anything, I just need a brush up on it.
I'm trying to get like Coltan's attention to like cover the handset again.
Like, I'll cover it.
Get him to tell us where it is so we can at least start to recon that before we pick it up.
Oh, yeah. Where, do you know where this thing is?
So he tells you that it is at a private compound about 12 hours outside of the city. 12 miles outside of the city. It's a police officer who lives in like a private cul-de-sac of other police officers. So all their houses are quite close, but it's one of those deals that like all of the land behind the house is quite extensive and spreads out. And they have like communal shooting ranges, like a cop retirement facility. And this guy keeps this particular thing at like a private helipad in like a covered warehouse.
Much for the easy steal.
I'll get like the exact location of the helipad and where it's at.
Yeah,
because we don't want to go to the cul-de-sac full of retired cops.
Yeah, I mean it's close enough to it, right? Like it's like a walking distance from their houses, but it's not but like you probably aren't going to drive through the front of the cul-de-sac through the gates to get this thing.
No.
And
how are we going to get this thing to you?
I'm going to come with you, obviously. I'm going to have to fly it out. I mean, look, you're going to have to secure the area for a couple of minutes, maybe as long as an hour, for me to just get this thing flight ready, fueled, get it good to go. I mean, it's not like helicopter just flies just because you pull it out of a hangar, you know?
Right. But it's a one-man deal, so...
I was saying Wonder Woman 84. Aircraft are kept fully fueled on the runway, ready to go.
Yeah.
Sorry, James, what was that?
Wonder Woman 84, where they have like the aircraft is just kept fueled.
Oh,
on the
Wonder
runway.
Woman 84, yes. Dude, that was a museum piece, which was even worse.
Yeah. I mean, in that movie, someone also turned into a cat explicitly. So
yeah.
It never really went into that. They're just like, and you're a cat. Of course, that thing's fully fueled.
I mean, he knew how to use avionics and radars.
It's true.
Yeah. He's just you have to quietly secure the facility, break into the hangar, quietly secure the aircraft, and then get the fuck out with the aircraft.
Well, you're getting the fuck out with the aircraft.
Yes.
We have to get out on foot.
Well,
So,
we could do some like heist stuff where you guys stand on a pallet that I lift up, you know. It would be very any heist movie ever that involves mocking the police while you leave. But yeah, I mean, you could have
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, look, I'm not here to plan the heist or, you know, the exit phase. I'm just here to tell you where it is. Where should I meet you when I'm ready to go to like meet the other members of the heist team?
We'll let you know when we have that unlock.
All right, let me go find my modem.
It'll be soon, though.
Okay. Look, I gotta tell Primo about this, right? Because he's my fixer, so...
Yeah, go ahead, as long as he doesn't try to stop us.
I don't think he's gonna try to stop us. It's just, you know, doing deals without a fixer doesn't ever work out well.
Fair.
All right, he hangs up.
Well, we have ourselves a job to get the job done.
I think there's two parts to this. First one is, we need to infiltrate and get this aircraft out. But when he actually does the delivery, I think that we should follow on the ground in the armored car. And if anyone tries to take out the helicopter from the ground, we need to stop that from the ground.
Mm-hmm. Just depends on
Sounds pretty
like
good to me.
what the route is. Like I imagine an AV can take a different route than roads.
Well, it's a helicopter, not an AV,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
It has to conform to a degree to the, we're talking about going under the plate, so we're flying, with both a deck and a ceiling.
Mhm.
So I think
and highly
gangs will
unusual
try-
wind conditions.
Yeah, gangs will try and take it out. We just need to make sure that people stay off him, Sparrowhawk, as long as possible.
Right.
Nobody blinked an eye at stealing from retired cops. That was the best part.
Well, that was exactly what I was just starting to say.
Go ahead.
Pascal's like, am I the only one who thinks that stealing a helicopter from a compound of retired cops sounds more dangerous than just driving under the plate?
Well, that's why it's infiltration.
Normally, when you do these things, Glimo, I mean, at least for me, I tend to not get spotted when I do these things. So, yeah, I mean, I think we can get it done pretty easily.
I mean, the
problems.
only other option is to make 2 trips with the armored van with a full load of weapons and ammo and hope we don't get hit.
1 trip I could see working. 2 trips, that will cause
That'll
some alarm.
draw attention,
For
yeah.
sure. Plus, nothing says Militech funded like AV bringing in a giant pallet of, surplus goods.
All right.
In many ways, we want to be conspicuous in our natures with this.
Very well.
Maybe you'll get to flex your breaking and entering muscles.
Okay. Seems like a good point for the break, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I suppose we shall return in about 8 minutes for the second half, where we're going to try to rip some cops
To
off.
plan our mission of a mission.
Look, right? It's the GTA heist missions from 5. You have to do a bunch of smaller jobs to prepare for the big job.
It's the wet work,
Yeah, exactly. Oh, the wet work. We're so Wolfgang right now. All right. Stick around or don't. No, you actually should.